All right, welcome back. Of course, it's time now to take a look at the front pages of the national dailies so that we'll let you know what are happening around the country. Of course, we have a journalist, also a blogger and social affairs commentator, Chris Kende Wandu, in the studios here with us to take a look. Thank you very much indeed for coming.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
All right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper. And it leads off with this one saying Bill Gates picks holes in federal government's economic plan. Let me read out his words. He said the Nigerian government's economic plan identifies investing in the people as one of 3 strategic objectives, but the execution priorities don't fully reflect people's needs, prioritizing physical capital over human capital.
That's a big one, and that is a fact. And it's good that we are looking ourselves in the mirror and coming from the world's richest man. He knows what he's talking about. The greatest investment any country can do is investing in its people. Education, he specifically mentioned education as one. Okay, when you invest in human capacity, that drives every other sector of the economy. Okay, because an educated nation, a nation is a thriving nation. So I think we should be able to, federal government should be able to look at the papers and what he said, and let's try to have a good appraisal of it.
Yes, you would wonder really if those at the top there don't understand this, because it's almost a given. Many African countries are already moving towards knowledge-based economies. A small country like Rwanda is doing that, investing heavily in its people.
That's it.
But then education here is never getting any of
that's the problem. And if you look at our annual GDP and even look at our budget, most often between capital projects and other aspects, you come to realize that we pay more emphasis on things that are not necessary. Even look at our budget presently. The highest presently budget allocation goes to what? Security. That's what happens. Okay? Look at where education is. Other countries are going full into the world is going tech. What are we doing in terms of that? We are not even looking at that aspect at all. So he knows what he's talking about. You know that if you look at it, almost the first 5 or 10 richest people in the world are those that belong to the technology aspect of life.
All right,
and we're not even encouraging our own people.
All right, Wandu, but it is instructive to note that El-Rufai has defended the federal government's position, saying that, look, there are enough elements, you know, to cater to the needs of the human capital, you know. But, you know, that's that's that now. And just as you mentioned.
I expected him to say that because, because what Bill Gates said actually should be able to touch someone like El-Rufai if you realize what we did in education sector recently. You understand what I'm trying to say?
All right, let's move very quickly now. I won't abandon the only Dapchi girl in captivity. That's coming from Buhari. That's since very
I mean, that's cheering, and I don't think that's why I've been quarreling with those celebrators, especially those in government that have been celebrating that the Dapchi girls have been released and the rest of them. Don't forget that about five of these girls died. Then one is still in captivity. Until that girl is released, there is nothing cheering about this. That's for me, okay? So they should make sure, and it's good the president is talking, they should make sure that, make everything possible to make sure that that girl is released, irrespective of whatever she did.
All right, quickly, the IG has suspended withdrawal of police, you know, attached to, you know, VIPs after the initial noise about it.
We saw it coming. We said it, he gave that directive. You just don't do that.
In fact, I asked the commissioner of Lagos that question.
You know the way, yes.
Because he gave a loop, really. If you know you deserve it, come and apply.
It's more complicated than you thought. You can't just wake up one day and say, I've withdrawn the... yes, good policy, absolutely good policy. But it's something that has to take gradual, because there's some of these people you are talking about are people that are heavy in government. Okay, you can't just wake up and say you've withdrawn that. They should come up with a template. Okay, tell us who and who deserves this and who. There are some people that deserve to have those kind of security.
Okay, so we move on to the next.
So it's good that he has moved that to 20th of April.
Okay, so we move on to the next paper, which is The Nation. The major story revealed: U.S. data giant in €2 million euro deal to stop Buhari. Israelis gave firm information to help Jonathan win 2015 poll.
Wow.
When you look at it closely, it's about the 2015 general election, not the one you're looking ahead.
Yes, I said it. The last election was won and lost on social media, and that is information technology. Okay, if you know what is playing out in Europe and the US presently, you know that people have gone beyond just coming in and voting and the rest of them. The election in the US that brought in Donald Trump, you know, today, the reports is still going on. Okay? Russia being accused, Russia not being accused, and the rest of them. Across the globe, what we're having is a recolonization of the continents and the countries. Most of the powerful countries are coming back to take a look at these developing countries like Nigeria and the rest of them, and they try to have a say. Before, what they were doing was to recolonize us, capture us, and the rest of them. But now, everything, what they want to have a say in how you vote, who you vote for, because whatever whoever comes must be able to be in tandem with the policy of those governments. So that is the problem. Well,
the details, anyways, said it was an oil magnate, a Nigerian oil magnate, that approached them for that, because the person was afraid that the former president could lose the election, invested, said he was ready to spend about £2 million for it. Okay, so moving on. A defiant Dapchi girl to mom. Let God's will be done. Government won't abandon her. And we already talked about that.
Yes,
the president's already saying that he won't.
The president has promised that.
So we go to the top of The Nation on the left. Evans to face 2 fresh kidnap charges. And it was in court yesterday as in Nigeria, but he tried to stop the motions, but the court said no, that he has case to answer. So
yes,
it's been
you know, the problem we've always had is that of judiciary, because where you go through you have to go through the system. It's a process that we must go through. Okay, you must prove your case. If you say this man is a kidnapper, you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. The person you're also accusing also has a right to be able to defend himself, and that's what is going on. But I see that as on his part and his defense and his counsels, just delay tactics, because they are confessional statements which the man made voluntarily and the rest of them. Absolutely. I think now that the court has given a ruling on that, I think we should just move on. I heard that 2 more charges have just been brought forward.
That was one I talked about.
That was fresh charges are. So I think we should get with
this. Is there a sense in which the slow movement in our judicial system is helping, you know, individuals like Evans, who, you know, very clearly, you know, ought to be, I beg your pardon, you know, jailed for what they have done.
Well, you cannot say that because the burden of evidence is on the
you know, the burden of evidence is on the prosecutor. Okay, if you say the man participated, irrespective of his confession and the rest of it, the man can just wake up and say that he gave those under duress. And once he's able to prove that, then it is for you to argue. Many
cases have been lost based on technicalities.
So most cases have been lost based on technicalities.
So let's quickly run through the mini stories. Buhari to chair 10th Bola Tinubu colloquium, meaning the president is expected in Lagos next week, Thursday. Against Nigeria must invest in human capital. Iheanacho Igalo to lead attack against Poland. Good luck to the Eagles later today. Senate confirms CBN deputy governors. Others, police parade, extortion, abduction suspects in Ibadan. And then Facebook plans to crack down on abuses. That one very sensitive because many people have been moved to kill themselves because of that.
All right, so let's take a look at the Daily Sun newspaper with a headline: Dapchi school girls' freedom. Our deal with Boko Haram. That's coming from the military. You know, there was worry about the reason that the military allowed the Boko Haram elements to come, drop off the young ladies, and then went back again, unchallenged. And they say that they had a deal for a ceasefire with the Boko Haram.
Yes, it's a very complicated issue because we should be able to, first and foremost, the good news for me is that we got the girls back.
Girls are back.
Irrespective
Absolutely.
of how we went about it. Okay, the life of those kids is very, very precious to us. So whichever way they did it, whichever way they brought them back, the same way they did and rest of them. But I just feel that the military should be more proactive in their activities, in their dealings, and rest of them. More so, the Minister of Information came out about 24 hours ago to say, yes, we had a deal with Boko Haram. I just believe that there are certain things you don't come out to say, especially when it comes to security issues. Because the people you are addressing, over 180 million Nigerians, don't understand how this thing plays out. So there are certain things you just have to keep it. You don't need to be divulging every information. You don't see the United States coming out to say that, oh, we had a deal with this time. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world.
The Interior Minister already announced.
It happened, yes. So you are giving.
All right, here is another story. State of the Nation. Obasanjo is saying he may well write another letter.
Yeah, President Obasanjo.
You think this one might be, you know, to correct the one that he wrote? You know,
I said it. You know, before he had his PhD, he was writing 13 pages, 14 pages. He really got his PhD. The pages wrote to about 18 and 21, 23 pages. Now the man is a PhD holder. And we expect him to write as many letters as possible. But let us wait and see what he's going to write about. Obasanjo is not somebody that just dropped absolutely just for the fun of it. Something must have come up. If he's writing a letter, then we await it.
And if he's
I think it's high time he publish these letters into a book.
It's a book,
for prosperity.
Absolutely. And since it's going to be based on the State of the Nation, you would wonder what has changed since the last letter. That's what I'm saying. Yes. So definitely there are certain information at his disposal that he wants to share with Nigerians. So we await it. So we'll wait for him. All right, so we go to the last paper now, the Vanguard. The major story here is FG let us down. Mom of Dapchi girl still captive. They're with multiple riders. First one pleads with government Boko Haram to ensure her release. Senate Murik Khan reacts as Buhari pledges to secure her release. PDP plumbs the depths of infamy. Lai Mohammed, Information Minister. Dapchi girl's abduction release. Height of serial deceit. Hoax. That's according to Ohaneze Ndigbo. And then we go down to the paper. Protesters burn down church, police post in Kaduna. That's very sensitive. We didn't want to go into it. Yes, steer clear of our legislative business. Lugara cautions judiciary. 9 Mobile to increase staff by 50% after theology takeover. Yeah, it's facing another possible takeover, which seems to be. Well, if they're going to employ more, good for Nigeria. Anyway, and
I just hope that 9 Mobile will not turn out to be another of those. You know, we used to have a telecom company that has changed their names over 5 times and the rest of them.
All right, so we go to the top of the paper. Nigeria, one of the most dangerous places to give birth. That's according to Bill Gates, you know, part of the reasons he was talking to about
mortality rate.
Yes, the government's not missing the goalposts. Okay, how Buhari's medical financial records were hacked ahead of 2015 polls. That's the major story on the front page of The Nation, talking about how they went about the 2015 election. Exactly. And Senate confirms 5 CBN nominees, rejects 1. And then Benedict Peters, EFCC lacks power to arbitrarily declare anyone wanted. That's according to the court.
That's a good one, because before you declare somebody wanted, you don't just wake up and declare. And that happens, I think, apart from EFCC, I think the police also should be put on notice. Okay, the police just wake up and just declare somebody wanted and the rest of that. It's not done. Okay, you remember what happened with the Kazima Fegua, the spokesman of the spokesperson of former president,
military
IBB.
President.
Yes, and only for the guy to get there and say, no, you don't do that. Okay, for you to declare somebody wanted, there's some processes you have to go through. Then you have to get a court order for that. It's the court that will declare you wanted. After they must have gone through certain processes, and EFCC is good at doing that. So what the court is now saying, no, you don't have that power. If you want to declare somebody, bring it before us, we look at the facts of the matter, then if we think that it's necessary for you to declare the person, then you do that.
All right, Chris Kende Nwadu, thank you very much for the analysis of the papers with us.